Welcome back to another episode of Phinhub, where we dive deep into all things Miami Dolphins. Today, we've got an action-packed episode that's sure to get your blood pumping and your heart racing. We're talking about the Miami Dolphins quarterback situation, and boy, do we have a lot to cover. First up, we're breaking down Tua's performance so far, and whether or not he's the right man to lead the Dolphins into the future. Is he worth picking up his fifth-year option? Or should the Dolphins be looking to trade for a superstar like Lamar Jackson? But that's not all. We've also got an exciting young prospect who's already making waves and eyeing Tua's starting role. Who is he, and what does he bring to the table? You won't want to miss a minute of this action-packed episode. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's get started. Now, before we dive into the juicy stuff, you already know what's up. Show us some love and hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to smack that bell icon like it's the opposing team's quarterback. We don't want you to miss out on any of the insane action, hype, and drama that goes down in Miami, so stay up to date with us and join the Phinhub hype train. All right, now, let's get back to the video. Listen up, Dolphins fans, because I have the answer to the burning question on everyone's mind. Should the Miami Dolphins pick up Tua's fifth-year option? And the answer is a resounding yes! I mean, come on, have you seen this guy play? When healthy, Tua has shown that he is the future of this team. He led Miami to the playoffs for the first time in years, with an impressive 8-5 record. And let's not forget about his stats. He had 3,548 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. Oh, and he also led the NFL with a 105 passer rating. Boom! Sure, some people are skeptical about Tua's injury history, but let's not forget that even the greatest quarterbacks of all time have had their fair share of injuries. It's part of the game, folks. Just look at Drew Brees, who suffered a devastating shoulder injury early in his career with the Chargers. Many thought his career was over, but he was able to bounce back and carve out a Hall of Fame career with the New Orleans Saints. The Chargers still regret letting him go to this day, and we don't want to see the Dolphins make the same mistake with Tua. With proper support and coaching, Tua can be the long-term answer at quarterback for the Dolphins. And if Tua can stay healthy, fingers crossed, then he will undoubtedly be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. Now, let's talk about the options. The first one is to do nothing and let Tua play out the final year of his contract. Ha! Are you kidding me? In what world does that make sense? Look around the league, people. Quarterbacks are expensive, and even average ones will cost you a pretty penny. We can't risk losing Tua to free agency when we have the chance to lock him down for at least 2 more years. The second option is to give Tua a contract extension this offseason. And while that might seem like a good idea at first, there's one box that Tua hasn't checked off yet: playing an entire 17-game season. Don't get me wrong, I have faith in Tua, but let's wait and see how he performs in a full season before we commit to a long-term deal. And finally, we have the most obvious option: pick up Tua's fifth-year option and lock him up for the next 2 seasons. This is a no-brainer, people. The fifth-year option would pay Tua a cool $23 million in 2024, on top of his $9.6 million cap hit in 2023. That's a 2-year deal worth $33 million, and it gives us 2 more years to evaluate Tua and decide on a long-term deal. So, there you have it, Dolphins fans. Pick up Tua's fifth-year option, sit back, and watch as he leads us to greatness. And to all the haters out there, I have one thing to say. As the greatest quarterback of all time once said, "I'm the best, and I know I'm the best. I just need the opportunity to prove it." And Tua will get that opportunity, mark my words. Now, get ready, because this next bit of news will raise some eyebrows. While the Dolphins are making changes for the 2023 offseason, one young player who caught their attention is USC quarterback Caleb Williams, who is projected to be a top pick in the 2024 draft after winning the Heisman Trophy last season. Williams recently expressed his desire to play for the Dolphins, and it's not hard to see why. He spoke highly of the team's young coaches, as well as the talented players on both sides of the ball like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Mike Gesicki. Williams even gave a shout-out to the team's colors and the great weather in Miami: Hallelujah, Aqua, and Orange. While Williams listed a few other teams he'd be interested in playing for, he made it clear that he would play anywhere. However, as a Dolphins fan, You can't help but feel excited about the possibility of having such a talented young quarterback on your team. But as much potential as Williams has, the Dolphins already have their own young star quarterback in Tua. And while Williams may be a great player in the future, the Dolphins are committed to Tua as the future of their franchise. So while it's exciting to imagine what Williams could do in a Dolphins uniform, for now, the focus remains on supporting Tua and building a team around him. Who knows what the future holds? But one thing's for sure, the Miami Dolphins are in good hands with the Samoan sniper leading the way. There's been a lot of talk about Lamar coming back home to his home team in Miami to play for the Dolphins. Now hold your horses, NFL fans. Before you start celebrating the idea of Lamar Jackson joining the Dolphins, let's take a step back and think this through. Yes, Jackson is a talented quarterback who won the MVP award in 2019, but let's not forget that he has yet to sign a long-term contract with the Baltimore Ravens. His future with the franchise is uncertain, which could potentially make him a risky investment. On the other hand, the Dolphins have Tua, a young quarterback who has shown a lot of promise in a healthy offense. He may not have the same experience as Jackson, but he has the potential to become a star in the NFL. Instead of trading for Jackson, the Dolphins should invest in developing and protecting their current quarterback. Tua's made headlines for his injuries and is now notorious for his concussions, but let's not forget the injuries Jackson has sustained in recent seasons. He missed 6 weeks of the 2022 season due to a PCL sprain, which could make him a liability for any team. He also missed 6 weeks a year before that as well. The Dolphins should consider the long-term health of their team when making such a big investment. Furthermore, the Dolphins would have to give up a lot to acquire Jackson. The Ravens are likely to ask for a high price, which could include multiple draft picks and players. The Dolphins would be better off using those resources to build a strong team around Uno. In closing, while the idea of having the speedy Lamar Jackson on the Dolphins may seem exciting, it is not worth the risk and cost. The Dolphins should stick with the Polynesian star and focus on building a strong team around him. With the right support and development, he could become the franchise quarterback the Dolphins have been dreaming of since the legendary Dan Marino retired 23 years ago. And that's all for today's episode of Phinhub. We hope you enjoyed diving deep into the Miami Dolphins quarterback situation with us. From analyzing Tua's performance to discussing the possibility of trading for Lamar Jackson and exploring an exciting young prospect in Caleb Williams, we covered it all for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all the latest Miami Dolphins news and analysis. And as always, feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. We love hearing from our viewers. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Phinhub.